Hey everybody, Isabelle Fox here, and today we're talking about how to give a great service so that you can keep those bad boys coming back for more. One of the most commonly asked questions I get from people who are trying to improve in the profession of escorting or who are trying to increase their business or income is how can they get more repeat clientele? The biggest component of getting repeat clientele is providing a really good quality of service. So what that means is giving your clients a great experience during their booking. So let's talk about why you actually need to focus on repeat clientele. If you're one of the people who are consistently reliant on new clients for bookings, your income will fluctuate at the whim of the market and based on how competitive it is at any given time. So basically, the more escorts there are that come into working, the less work there will be for you because your income is at the mercy of the market. When there is a quiet week in the market, you will have less income, as opposed to, say, somebody who has consistent repeat clientele. Even though it might be quiet in the market, they've got their regular clients coming back, so they are far less affected, or maybe even not affected at all when those quiet weeks come. They also won't be as affected when new competition comes into play because they have clients who are loyal to seeing them because of the quality of their service. So their income is also less subject to fluctuation. This applies to most industries, but we're talking specifically today about escorting. So if you want to build a solid, reliable income, which is a really tricky thing to do in our industry, then you need to focus on getting repeat clientele. You will always be reliant on new clients and new bookings, which will drastically reduce the pool of clientele available to you. If you provide a service that clients won't return for, each client you see will essentially become obsolete to you. So what this means is imagine you have a big pool of clients. Now, if you don't have a good quality of service that clients want to return for, every time you see one of those clients, imagine them being kicked out of the pool. So your pool continues to get smaller and smaller, and so does your ability to earn money. Now, that pool will be regenerated obviously with newcomers, but you don't want to always be relying on new customers. You want your pool of customers to be as large as possible so that your income can be as large as possible. So ideally, you want not only to keep the current pool of customers in there, but also to attract new customers. This gives you more freedom as you go as well to be more selective with the sort of clients that you see, to increase your rates, to be more selective when you work, etc., etc. It is more taxing to convince a new client to book you. A repeat client who has seen you once and already knows and enjoys the quality of your service will be far easier to secure another booking from. If you are in a brothel, for instance, and you are introing clients all the time, or if you are self-managed and you are managing your own phone and dealing with inquiries via text and email, you will know how time-consuming it can be to respond to those customers, I'm talking now via text and email, and get them to book, or how draining it can be to every time a new client comes into a brothel to sit there and try and convince him to book you over somebody else. Now, if you have had a client who has seen you and really enjoys your company, it's going to be much easier to convince him if he walks in the door or contacts you by text or email, or if you contact him to instigate a booking, it will be much easier to get them to book you again because they have a previous positive experience that they can draw on and you can sell them on that. So you will save more time and energy if you focus on booking repeat clientele than if you focus on consistently getting new customers. If you intend on escorting long term, you need to consider the implications of doing so, which are the following. Over time, you will probably want to increase your rates. That will be really hard to do if you don't offer a service that is deserving of a higher rate, especially as more and more people become willing to do sex work and become escorts. The standard price of escorting can go down because of this. So if you want to continue to increase your rates, you will be heavily affected by this if you don't give a good service. Youth is a factor in escorting. Some people aren't going to like me for saying this, and it's not the only one, but it is a factor nonetheless. So the longer you work for, the less you will be able to rely on this as a selling point. Instead, you will need to be able to sell based on the quality of your service. When I first walked into a brothel at the age of 18, there were some clients who instantly wanted to book me because I was 18. By the time I got to 23, 24, those clients didn't really apply to me anymore. If I wanted to get those clients to book me, I couldn't just use the age selling factor. Now, of course, there would be plenty of clients who aren't as concerned about having that much younger escort experience. There will be some who perhaps even want an older escort, or they won't even care at all about the age. But it is a reality that youth is desirable if you're an escort. So as you get older and stay in the game longer, you can't draw on that. You may also want to take a step back from escorting at some point to pursue a different career path, which is what ultimately most people want to do, however, not everybody. And if you have put in the work to secure repeat clientele, this will be far easier and less stressful to do. Build a book of clients who are loyal to you, who will pay your rates, and who will see you at the times that suit you so that you can pursue other areas of your life. You might not even want to pursue a different career path. Perhaps you have a family, perhaps there are other areas of your life that you want to focus on. You might decide that you've worked for so many years and now you want to use that money to travel the world. All of these things will become more of an option to you if you have built repeat clientele. So in summary, guys, to be successful as an escort, you must focus on quality, quality, quality. And I'm going to get into some tips on how you can do that now. Number 1 is kiss your clients properly. Yes, even if they are bad kisses, they might be smelly, as in have a smelly mouth or just be smelly everywhere. They might be slobbery, taste weird. Perhaps they ate some garlic for lunch and they didn't really care about how that would affect you later, or they didn't think about it, or they could spit everywhere. You are an escort. If you can't handle this part of the job, then you are probably in the wrong profession. So just do what women have been doing for years on end and think of the money. A good tip to get around this kissing problem, because generally the biggest issue is just if a client tastes or smells really bad, is you can help your client to prepare for your experience with you. So what I used to do with all my bookings was I would go to the shower with my client. I would either get in with them or I would put them in there myself. And I would actually, of course, have my own mouthwash, and I would pour out a mouthwash cup for them and for me. And I'd actually make a little moment of it. I'd do a little cheers so that I'd force them to do it with me, because some clients will see the mouthwash there and for some reason not use it. I don't know why. So we'd have a cute little moment. We'd cheers. I'd do it over something bonding for us together, like cheers for their first booking ever, or cheers for their birthday, or cheers for being such a naughty guy. You can make this fun. And then I would watch them do the mouthwash. If they only do half the mouthwash, I would tell them it's bad luck if you don't do the whole shot. And I would force them to do the whole thing. Now, I don't have to be aggressive or rude about this or point out to them that they smell. I can just enforce this in a flirty and fun way. And you can do a similar thing with clients when you want them to shower. Do not underestimate the power of authentic passion. It's an innate human need, and you can capitalize on that. For anybody who's seen Pretty Woman and thinks that you can just not kiss and be a successful escort, that is extremely unrealistic. I am yet to have a client who really didn't want to kiss. I have had some who have turned down kissing, generally for some other reason, and they've gone on to tell me that they wish that they could, but they've decided not to today, which is obviously totally fine. But most clients really want to and enjoy kissing. So don't underestimate how powerful that can be for having a great experience with your client. Imagine your client is your significant other. This doesn't have to be offensive to your significant other. This is just a tool that you're using to give your client a good experience and to be good at your job. So imagine that your client is your partner and that you're kissing your client as passionately as you are kissing your partner. Your client really is a human who deserves to be made to feel special and desired. And it's one of the very important reasons for why they're coming to you and spending so much money. If you just peck your client, or you give forced, strained kisses, or you're constantly trying to pull away when your client's trying to kiss you, they will notice that and they'll be put off by it. They won't have a totally satisfying and enriching experience. So just suck it up for the time that you're with them, get them to use the mouthwash, and think about the money and about the quality of your client's experience. 2, initiate physical touch early on. When I was new to escorting and I was more nervous, not as confident in what I was doing, I used to be quite timid and wait for the clients to touch me, when actually often sometimes they're waiting for the same thing. So even though your client has paid for your time, they might still feel cautious about what they are and aren't allowed to do. So you need to let your client know that it's okay to touch you, which they of course really want to, by touching them first. So if you're a private escort and you're meeting a client somewhere, as soon as I open the door for the client, I will touch his skin somewhere with mine. I will kiss him on the cheek, sometimes on the mouth if I feel it's appropriate. That's not always the case with somebody when you literally have just met them. But I will always be the first one to instigate touch and to show him, lead him to knowing that it's okay for him to do that. Skin on skin contact will also be a really good icebreaker early on. And it will set the tone for a more natural and comfortable experience for the rest of the booking. So let's imagine your client walks through the door and you don't really instigate that touch. Well, now that moment becomes a moment of tension, wondering, oh, when can we touch? Kind of like the first kiss. Oh, when are we going to kiss? When are we going to get to that part? Especially if your client is nervous, it will really help to just set the tone of a more natural experience for them. So instigate that early on. You also want to use that skin on skin contact to get your client excited for what's to come. You want to use the physical touch as a way to build anticipation and desire. So when they walk through the door, at first you might just touch their arm or you might touch their cheek with your cheek. But then as time goes on and in the early stages of the booking, you want to let your leg press against your client's leg. You want to touch your client's hand with your hand. You want to slowly build that intimacy and get them excited for the time when you're eventually doing the deed. You can also show your confidence and your competence as an escort by showing your client that you know how to lead the way. Some clients will be good at leading the way themselves, which is great, but many clients won't be, so you need to be able to take that role as well. 3, match your client's energy. As an escort, you will meet people of all sorts. So it really is your job to be a chameleon and to be able to get along with people who are from all walks of life and have all different personalities and desires. And a good way to start is by matching your energy, tone, and speed to that of your clients. So what I mean by that is if I get a client who walks in the door who's really chilled out and relaxed and talking a bit more slowly and calmly, I'm not going to be super excited and going, oh, I'm so excited to see you, blah, 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 blah. I'm bouncing around because it's probably not going to get us off on the right foot. Rather, I'm going to match his energy, be more similar to him, and continue the booking in that way because he'll probably feel more comfortable. When I read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it tells you how people generally like people who are also like them. Now, there will be times where a client is super, super nervous. You obviously can't always also be super, super nervous. So take this literally, and don't take this literally, sorry. What I mean is that you need to match the energy. So if the client is super nervous and more quiet and slow, you might need to go more quiet and slowly, but you don't also need to be nervous with them. Social competency is a skill you can learn and apply to the craft of escorting. There are plenty of books out there, and there are plenty of ways that you can get yourself to be better at this. You can start spending time with more people. You can actively search out new experiences where you might not feel totally comfortable, but you have to learn how to handle that. Things like that will help you to get better at your job and will give your client a better experience. And lastly, there will be times when no matter how hard you try, you just don't click with a particular client. Every escort has had this experience. So if that does happen, just know that this is okay, learn from it and move on to the next. You only need to be worried if you're finding that this is happening all the time, or if you're finding that you don't get any repeat clientele whatsoever. Then you need to start to look at your interactions with your clients and see where you're going wrong. 4 is be playful. It is highly likely that your client is with you as an escape from the everyday stresses of life. So you can help them to do this by being playful, fun, and cheeky. People are stressed out, they're serious, they're dealing with problems all the time, they're dealing with complaints, they're going home to difficult households, going to work with difficult jobs. So you can help break them out of this by just giving them some light fun for an hour. And you can still be playful and cheeky, but intimate with clients. So perhaps you have a client who is more deep and they're looking for a deeper connection with you. You can still create this with them while also bringing a bit of playfulness and cheekiness to your booking. So ways to do this are using things like pet names. Actually, you can use pet names to resolve a lot of problems too. I was on a tour once and was seeing clients back to back, and a client walked in the door and I called him by the wrong name. Maybe I called him Justin when his name was Ryan. So when he corrected me and told me what his name really was, I said, oh, well, Justin suits you way better. I'm just going to stick to Justin. And then that actually became a little inside joke. So I turned something that was negative into a positive. Using inside jokes is a great way to be playful with your clients and build rapport as well. Then you can revert back to those jokes when you're texting them to try and get them to book again, and you can build a deeper bond with them that way. Teasing and banter are also a good way to do this, especially men are really receptive to this sort of behavior. So if you do that, you will build a great rapport with your clients as well. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself, and never forget the power of a smile. Everybody loves to see a woman smile, so use that to your advantage. 5 is learn how to give a great blowjob. Deep French kissing, or DFK, and blowjobs are 2 of the most requested services you will get as an escort. You'll get these way more than you get all the weird kinks that people think that escorts do in their job. We don't. This is what we spend most of our time doing. So you need to make sure that you can do them both very well. You might have a great experience with the client, but if he thinks that you can't give a good blowjob, he's probably going to go elsewhere to somebody who can give a good blowjob. It is just a reality of life. So you need to practice. You need to practice this with all of your clients. Try and ask them for feedback so you can see if you are doing the right thing. You can also learn about this so that you get better at it. You can research. There are plenty of books on this stuff. You can do tantric courses and things like that. Mostly the best thing to do is practice. So if you have a partner in your personal life, he's going to thank you for practicing with him. If you're working in a brothel and you're doing high volume sort of work, that will be a fantastic place for you to practice as well. So just gauge your responses from your client, and you'll start to see over time just by being aware what works and doesn't work. Most men enjoy ball play of some kind. Do not neglect the balls. Again, imagine your client is your significant other, and not only that, but that it's his birthday and you want to give him the best birthday ever and be crowned girlfriend of the year. One of my clients in my early days in a brothel once told me to suck his as if I was his boyfriend, and it was actually exceptionally good advice. He's probably really helped me make a lot of money over these years, so I suggest that you use that as well. And get creative with positions and locations. You want to spice it up. So once you get good at doing a blowjob, maybe you should move out of the bedroom. You can do it in the shower. You can do it in the hallway. Everybody likes to see a woman drop to her knees, soaking wet. You can do it on the couch. Maybe you can do it hanging off something or from an upside down position. You can get creative and have fun, and it will really make you stand out in your client's eyes. He's definitely going to be coming back for that. Number 6, and possibly one of the most important factors, is to care more about your client's experience than you do about the money. There is a girl that I work with who has so much repeat clientele. I'd say that almost weekly she has a client that she's seen before, which is very uncommon in escorting. And the biggest thing that stands out from her is the fact that she really genuinely cares about her clients. She will go above and beyond for her clients. They always give the feedback that they felt so comfortable with her. They felt like they could tell her anything. She's definitely beautiful, and she does charge a lot of money though. So it's not like it's easy sometimes to get those sorts of clients, but she has repeat clientele all the time. And when everybody else is quiet, she's not quiet. She's still making the same amount of money. And this is the thing that I would say that stands out about her more than anything else. So to do this, focus on quality of service, and the money will come in time. So don't first think about all the money that you're going to make. Of course, that's important and you deserve to get that for doing a good job, but focus first on giving your client the best possible quality of experience, best quality of service. As the quality of your service improves, so too will the ability to increase your rates, because once your clients have found a good thing, they won't want to lose it. You can apply this logic to most things in your life. Given, of course, that you can, to a degree, afford it, if you found a service that you really love and they increase their rates a little bit, you're probably going to continue to pay it rather than take the risk of going out and trying something new and wasting money on something that wasn't good, especially if you highly value that service. So if you provide a good quality service, then if you put your rates up, you'll be far less likely to lose your clientele. As your rates increase, you will attract customers who are more focused on quality of service than on price, and who will be willing to pay more for it. So if that's where you see yourself going, if you want to continue to raise your rates higher and higher, then you will find that as you do that, you'll be getting customers who come to you really wanting good quality of service rather than just the cheapest, quickest available thing. The more satisfied your clients are and the more money you make, the better you will feel about yourself and the more motivated you will become to do better again, which will again lead to more regular clients, higher rates, and more income. So this will be like a domino effect. It will just keep going. If you don't focus on your clients' needs, someone else will. And that's who your clients will give their money to and not you, which I'm guessing is probably not what you want. So focus on quality of service for your clients. That's it for today, everybody. I hope that helps you out, and happy earning.